to raise your vibration at any moment of the day. When I speak the words vibration, that means to raise how you feel in your body. We're going to raise our vibration. Why? Because once you raise how you feel, then great things will start to attract to you and your life. If you want to be a successful person, just model what other successful people do. So I ask you right now to consider, and as you're listening to my voice, to go ahead and model what I'm about to do for 60 seconds. I want you to do the same thing that I'm doing right now. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. All praises to the Most High God is the greatest. Motivated, dedicated, let's go. I love you guys so much. What's up?
Hello, people. How are you? I don't know if you've discovered this yet. That is the best thing you can have on your mobile. Right, so if you have a mobile like this, get the app. So you hit the top one, which is rescue. That puts your body into a healing frequency, so it heals. You have the second one, the purple one, that plays a track so you can sleep. You have the third one, the blue one, dark blue. That is, you have to have your headphones on. The purple one you don't. The blue one you do. The next one is focus, and then there's more after that. Right? So if you've got pain, if you've got trouble sleeping, even if you don't, everybody needs it. Everyone. The whole entire world needs this app. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't need that. That's just not, that's not something I need. It is. Why? Because you make money. You cannot, let me rephrase that. You can make money from it. So you've got the choice. You just run the app, which
It's a real challenge to talk about New Calm in terms of a promise or a benefit because it's so experiential, because the mind is relative, right? And so if a person was blind, you could never describe to them the color orange. But if they had seen the color red and the color yellow, and then they went blind, you could extrapolate orange as being between yellow and red, right? So what is New Calm like? That's what people are asking. That's what the mind wants to know is what is this better than, because they're looking for a reference and there's not much. That is what is so difficult. And so when people ask me, I've heard about it, it sounds great, but give me some detail. Let's put some meat on the bone here. I just say, have you got 5 minutes? And I put the headphones on them. And what do they say at the end of that? Wow. It's like a drug experience because it's an altered state. When you and I are talking in a discussion like this, we're talking primarily in a very narrow bandwidth called intelligence, willpower, common rationale, right? But when you experience something that is a state shift, there are no words. For instance, the word creativity, the Oxford English Dictionary says it didn't even exist until 1875. The word creativity was never written in print. People weren't ready for that word. Isn't that amazing how recent that word is? And so New Calm is a progressive, leading edge, not only technology, but experience. When people are ready for it, they'll be able to hear it. Meditation is a very interesting process. And in ancient India, they say, he who knows, knows, and no one else knows, right? Well, he who doesn't know, and he doesn't know that he doesn't know, right? Because it is experiential. We're back to that word again. And so a lot of people meditate to stop the contrast in their life, to bring down the noise, to help them get away from their challenges, to solve problems. But they really don't understand, I don't think. I didn't understand for a long time. This is even new to me, who's meditated tens of thousands of hours, being a monk for 35 years. Meditation is most helpful to take down your inner resistance, because that's where the problem is. Problems are healthy. It's like without a problem, you can't have a solution. Without a question, you can't have an answer, right? They're in a package. So as we evolve as a species, we will come to understand that when we have a problem, it's like, hallelujah, a solution's coming down the pike, right? They're a package, they're integrated. And so with meditation, it's like the first question is always why? Why am I meditating? What do I want out of this? Who do I think I am? What is my identity? Where New Calm is, I think, complementary, and it probably would be defined in today's lingo as a jumpstart, because I talk to a lot of people about meditation, and when they first hear the word, they go, oh, I can't meditate. I've tried it. I can't do this. My monkey mind is all over the place, and I've given up. And you know what I say to those people? Everybody meditates, but in different ways. Whether you're a long-distance runner, whether you're a surfer, whether you're a painter, whether you like whatever, there is some place that you get into your happy place or you get into the zone. That is a meditative practice. But the more consciously we do this, the deeper we're going to go. Because as a culture, we're very broad. We know a lot about a lot. I mean, my gosh, we're more informed than any group of people ever in recorded history. But depth, not so much. That's an Eastern quality. And so New Calm is a way to give you experientially, in a very short period of time, an experience of this null point. Because people don't know whether they're asleep, whether they're awake, whether in their subconscious, whether they're superconscious, their left brain, the right way. They don't know any of that. What do they know experientially? They feel centered. They feel calm. They feel creative. They feel refreshed. It's like, I'm a new person. It's a reset. How valuable is that? And when I do coaching with people, I ask them this question because I'm trying to ping them to find out how receptive they are to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn. And so I say, do you want to just mow the lawn? You got a problem. Do you just want to put out the fire? Or do you want to go down to the root levels and deal with the real cause and not just manage the effects, right? What level do you want to deal with it? And that's why I became a monk, because I was lazy. I didn't want to deal with my behavior, which was worldly and superficial and immature, but I wanted to get down to the roots. And so that requires a state shift. That requires really going down. And so I tell people, we're going to take a look at your core beliefs, and we actually build a belief pyramid with people. What are your 10 deepest beliefs? And of course, nobody knows that. Without help, you can't do that. But I help them, and we get down to these core beliefs, and I tell them, I'll bet you a third of your beliefs will hold up. They're solid. You can build your life around those beliefs. A third of those beliefs that you have in your head are probably going to need tweaking, and probably about a third are just going to need to be flushed down the toilet because they're old school 20th century crapola that's not going to be functional for you in the 21st century. And I think New Calm somehow has a meditative state change quality which allows people that openness to unlearning, to questioning, to doubting. Because in our transition era, all of that stuff is extremely healthy.
Hey everybody, I tried a neuroscience hack to eliminate stress. It actually works.
So let's talk about New Calm. My brother Jim Poole introduced me to the subject sometime in mid-2009. He was evaluating the tech in the company and was interested in potentially taking ownership of it. I'm not sure what the designs were originally, but so we talked about it a few times, sounded interesting and intriguing, and then we had deeper, richer conversations about, hey, what can we do together to make this company work? And I hadn't tried it. I didn't understand it. I listened to the science speak, but again, it was pretty abstract. But I'll never forget the first time I tried New Calm. And this was specifically for stress management, stress relief. Flew to Arizona. We're going to meet with one of the top key opinion leaders in the dental business out in Arizona. His name is Dr. Omar Reed. And Jim met me at the airport. We went to the hotel. And he said, "Hey, sit down, Dave. You're gonna try New Calm." I said, "Okay." Hadn't occurred to me that I needed it. I wasn't especially stressed, but I was fatigued. And we were gonna have dinner with Dr. Reed, and I was the first time I was gonna meet him. And so he came to my room, did New Calm, and he tapped me on the shoulder, tickled my foot, something to wake me up. And I woke up and I was a little surprised. I felt like it'd been maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. And he said, "Dude, how was that?" And I was like, "Well, how was what? I didn't do anything." And he said, "No, you were snoring. You've been here, for over an hour." I was like, "An hour?" I thought 5, 10 minutes tops. And I remember leaving the room and going back to my room to shower and get ready. And I thought, I'm not sure what happened, but I really don't think anything happened. And so I showered, got back with Jim. What I didn't tell you was I only had a couple hours of sleep, and I didn't sleep on the plane because I was really excited. I was trying to learn the tech so I could represent myself and show some value in the very early stages of this business. And we got to the restaurant. I met Dr. Reed and his wife, Marcy. Jim was there, of course. And about a half hour in, I had a level of clarity and confidence and control. And it literally like I had a perfect night's sleep. And I knew that wasn't true. And I just remember sitting there glowing and thinking, holy smokes. I don't know what that is. I don't know how it works, but I can feel the power and the magic. And I never had to test it again after that. And I've used it pretty much every day since. I don't have the same, wild, outlandish results every day because I'm trying to take better care of myself. But my first experience with New Calm was a very interesting, confusing, wild ride that the result was I felt way better than I had any right to feel or should have expected to feel. And New Calm blew my mind.
My first experience wasn't too different. It wasn't in a hotel room. My brother didn't tickle my feet. I wasn't down for 60 minutes. I had come in from international travel. I was definitely sleep deprived, had a lot going on. We were kind of in a transition period. We'd just done a really big acquisition for Credit Suisse, J Merchant Banking. But the financial industry was starting to implode. This is 2009. I was in a doctor's office, and I was fatigued. And there was 3 people around me talking over each other. And they had a tray, looked like a tackle box, and they were taking stuff out. They put a wafer under my tongue, and then they put some patches behind my ears, and then they reclined me in the chair in the doctor's office. And I remember to this day, and this is almost 16 years ago, I had a tremendous desire to itch my nose. I had an itch in my nose. It was a very strong itch. And I remember my brain thinking, you got an itch on your nose. Who cares? And then my mind wandered again. And then my brain said, you have to itch your nose. And then I remember my brain saying, where are your arms? I don't even know if I have arms. And so this is going on in between random thoughts. I could feel really heavy, but I literally couldn't locate where my arms were and if I had my arms. And then the desire to itch my nose, even though it was really itchy, would dissipate, and I'd go in this repeating loop. And then 30 minutes later, someone gently touched my shoulder. They took an eye mask off me and the headset, and they said, hey, what'd you think? And I said, I have no idea, just like you. I feel relaxed. And then I stood up, and I felt physically like Gumby. No travel fatigue, no compression of the spine. David and I both have bad backs from a lifetime of wrestling. And so traveling compresses your spine and you're really stiff. I felt amazing physically. And then I felt like I had been rebirthed for the second part of the day. So this was about 4:00 in the afternoon, and I felt amazing that night. So yeah, the same type of first experience. You just unplug. You don't even know what you're unplugging from. You feel a level of patience and presence, mental clarity, enthusiasm, control, clarity, all of these amazing things you don't feel in combination on a regular basis. And this isn't normal. We don't feel like this. We always carry a load of distraction and stress and anxiety. So this hack actually works. Well, let us share with you for a minute how. Not to bore you, with physiology, but to just share the logic path of how this works. Your brain and my brain and everybody's brain oscillates in a frequency range. And the key is, how do I slow down my frequency and hover my brain just above deep sleep? There's a frequency range that's associated with healing. It's theta. It's 4 hertz to 7 hertz. It's just above deep sleep. The trick is, if I'm a meditating monk and I meditate for 100,000 hours in my life, I may, with no predictability, but I may be able to bring my brainwave to a quiet place in theta. Well, how about if we did this through physics and math, through science? That's what we're doing. We're using technology to unplug us from technology, and we're using physics to present your brain with a signal that your brain interprets and then synchronizes to either slow down or speed up the frequency of your brain. Now, David and I tried what's now called Rescue. It is our key therapy and has been used by millions of people for 16 years. What is it? It's not magic. It simply slows down your brain in a defined pattern with great precision, and it hovers your mind like David Copperfield, levitating magician. We're hovering your mind just above deep sleep. And in this state, why is this called the healing zone? Well, things are happening on a cellular level that promote healing. Toxins, your cellular maintenance is done, where your body removes toxic information and materials from your cells. Secondarily, the mitochondria, which you may remember from 10th grade biology, is the energy source of your cells, and that is restored. That is the healing aspect of the sleep. But it also slows down your breath. And breath presents your brain and body with oxygen, and oxygen is the healing element of the human body. So in this process of slowing down your brain and hovering your frequency in theta, the healing zone, physiologically, cool things are happening. Your respiration is slowing down to 1 breath every 10 seconds and 6 breaths a minute. You know, when you were a kid and you were fighting with your brother or fighting with your sister or creating agitation and distraction, and your parents said, "Hey, calm down. I want you to count to 10. Now, if they had told us why, maybe we would have listened to them. But 1 breath every 10 seconds is the ultimate diaphragmatic breathing of the human body and allows us to absorb the most oxygen. So this is all happening while you do nothing. One of the coolest things of, hey, this actually worked. Well, there's a lot of science behind it. In fact, there's 35 years of clinically proven patented neuroscience. Research done at institutions like Harvard Medical School and NASA. Research populations like the Chicago Blackhawks professional hockey team versus stage 4 cancer patients. So there's a lot that goes into this. But the reality is, it can do no harm. It can do a lot of good. It can do things for you that you don't even think you need or know you need. But here's the cool aspect. Would you like to be sexier to your partner and funnier to your kids with no effort? That's the beauty of New Calm. Unplug, get rid of all the stress, and make me sexier and funnier. I'll take that all day long.
I think the interesting thing is you make yourself a little bit better just by taking a nap. Anybody can take a nap. The thing with New Calm that's really important to recognize is that the normal sleep architecture, especially with napping, I was never a good napper before New Calm. I was always sleep deprived. And when I'd take a nap, I'd wake up really groggy because I was sleeping. It wasn't I couldn't do a 15-minute nap and wake up feeling refreshed. I'd sleep for about 45 minutes and get angry that I had to wake up. So with New Calm, I think it's important to recognize that, like you said, we suspend you and hover you in the theta sleep zone. That's a concentrated time in the recovery zone. So the normal sleep architecture, you're going to go into theta, then you go into deep sleep, then you might go into alpha, which is light sleep and disturbed sleep. With New Calm, we gently guide you into theta and we keep you there. And that triggers the maintenance functions. That's why you feel so refreshed. That's why when I talked about my first experience, that's why I felt like I'd had a great night's sleep when I was the only person on the planet who knew I hadn't. And I should have been falling asleep in my soup. It's not a hack. What it is a secret weapon that's going to allow you to reset and regain your authenticity in as little as 20 minutes.
This high-tech brain hack puts you in chill mode instantly. When's the last time you were stressed out, agitated, and a friend looked at you and says, "Hey, man, you're stressed out," and you actually responded in kind? What? No, it doesn't happen. It's a mystery, that we don't understand. But scientists understand this because we know the physiology of the brain. When you are in a highly agitated state, there is no oxygen going to the key areas of your brain that allows for logic, executive functioning, decision-making, responsiveness to stress. You are fully triggered, your fight or flight is activated, and you're in this repeated loop. But on the frequency side, you're in a very high frequency. So wouldn't it be amazing? It doesn't matter how terrible your day is. You woke up agitated, and everything that could go wrong started to go wrong. And everybody who loves you seemed to be against you. And, we've all had days like that. And Murphy's Law times 7, right? So 21 bad things happen before noon, and you're just in misery. How would you like simply to grab your mobile device, a headphone, and an eye mask, find a comfortable, safe place, lay down, press start, and literally within 5 to 8 minutes, you are meditating like a monk in this incredible state of bliss. Free-flowing mind, breath is incredible, deep breath, your body is heavy, you have not a care in the world, and you didn't do anything but just take a nice time out and let neuroscience take care of you. Would you like that, David? Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing to me. I liken it, Jim, to that glass of wine effect after a difficult day. And I don't reach for alcohol for, managing psychic pain. I would have a glass of wine and say, yeah, today really stunk. I like to put it behind me, and a glass of wine is going to lower my shoulders, let me relax, and please let me forget the moments I had that were a struggle for me, and just so I can move on. And it really is very similar to that. If you've ever had that phenomenon of, I could really, benefit from just a moment of relaxation. To me, New Calm really helps me when I feel a sense of overwhelm and I get frustrated with my performance and there's not a lot more I can do. And the funny thing is that the last thing you think you should do is take a nap. Now what I do, I'm trying to say, okay, I'm not with it. I'm not prioritizing the right way. I'm not responding to things the right way. There's no way I can get all this done. I go do New Calm, and it really helps me prioritize, okay, what needs to get done? What's reasonable?
Interestingly enough, you mentioned something. You actually have the self-awareness when you're in that state to recognize that you're in that state. Most people don't even have that. When they're in a state of hyper-distraction, agitation, impatience, confusion, overwhelm, they're not even thinking, hey, I'm not functioning well. They're pure survival. So that shows an evolution in your brain physiology and your self-awareness to even be present to think that. So one thing that we hear a lot is, this actually works. Well, there are very few things on this earth that actually work and actually do better than the claims associated with the product. Why does it work? It's not magic, and it is also not the only thing you can do. Meditation and mindfulness was created or invented or discovered more than 3,500 years ago. There are other ways to downregulate and slow down the chaos in your mind. But it's really hard for people to meditate. It takes patience and presence, persistence and discipline and time. But it also takes an understanding of how to meditate. What am I even supposed to feel? What's the outcome I'm supposed to achieve? There's also yoga, Tai Chi, breathing exercises. So there are physiological exercises, processes, and practices that you can employ to create this. The challenge with those is that in an acute state of stress, I'm having a really bad day and I'm angry. Hey, go meditate. Probably not going to happen. Hey, go to a yoga class. Probably not going to happen. I need to resolve this in my own monkey mind, right? So one of the cool things about what we're sharing with you is the predictability and the reliability of a technology. And this does sound really good, and it may sound too good to be true, but it's even better than it sounds. And interestingly enough, we're using sound to deliver the science, so it's all related. But here's the reality. There's only one patented technology on Earth today that's clinically proven to balance the health of the human autonomic nervous system, which manages over 90% of your daily function, from your heart rate to your breath to your digestion, but also your fear, your stress, your anxiety, your depression, your worry, your fight, your flight, your freeze. This technology has the only patent in the world for balancing and maintaining the health of that aspect of your brain, backed by 35 years. Researched by the leading academicians, scientists, and doctors in the world. 52 doctors and academicians on the Medical Advisory Board. Formerly an FDA Class 3 medical device, approved by Health Canada, approved by the United States military. So ladies and gentlemen, does it sound too good to be true? Maybe it does, but it's even better than it sounds, and it's based on fact and on science. And some people say, hey, this sounds like voodoo. It couldn't be more basic science. This is math and physics doing its work for us.
All working away. So he's the head guy of the team. He's going to explain a lot to you. Now, this is how to purchase the Newcalm app and what to do.
The ordering is very, very simple. You just click on the link, friend would have shared with you, right? And then, it'll come up to this page here. Very simple and easy. Right, now you can either scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll see who it is who sent it to you. But otherwise, you just click on that link and it'll bring you up to this page here where you can go ahead and then choose what you want to choose.
It's US dollars, right? So this one is 60 when I purchased it. It could be, it depends on the transfer rate. One day it'll be less, one day it'll be more. It depends on the transfer rate. So this one, you get all of the channels, the whole 8 channels, but they don't come in straight away. They come in over time. And you get the business, so you can make money. So you're spending 42 to 49, but you're getting back American money, which is almost double in Australia. These two here are just, you get the app, but you only get some of the stuff on the app. So you're watching, you hear someone talk about something, you go to the app, it doesn't have it because you've got one of these two. Yeah, this one, you've got all of it. So you choose to be able to earn income. But you're spending AU money, Australian money, or your country money, and you're getting back US. So you're making a profit.
They've got different packages, and the first thing you got to work out is whether you want monthly or annual. And these are all US dollars, so it's $42.50, $43. And if you get that one, you're going to be capable and able to earn the income. Whereas if you get the $25 ones, you're not able to earn the income, right? You're just a customer. And so your options are either monthly or annual. So you just click on which one you want, choose a plan, and then it's pretty simple. Just go ahead, select the country, continue, put your details in, right? Put in a password, some other details here, 12 characters, that's a bit of a trick. Then confirm these agreements, submit, put your credit card details in, and it's all done. And you get this message pop up and it says you'll soon receive an email to create you a Newcalm account password. And so sure enough, there's a little bit of a delay before that comes through. So don't panic. And then you get this email from Newcalm. It says welcome to Newcalm, blah, blah, blah. And set up your password. You click on that and very simple.
Okay, so that's that part of it, right? Set up, fast, easy, no problem. I know people don't like putting their details in, but this is a fully legit, business that's been running for years and it's taken a long time to set up. So it's not like it was born yesterday. Okay, your next step is to become an associate. is what I am as an associate.
As a customer. Everybody starts off as a customer. So your back office is going to look like that. But to get paid, you just got to click there where I've got it highlighted in red. And when you click on that, it'll open up this page. And all you've got to do is tick the two boxes that you've read the terms and conditions, you read and agree to the policies and procedures, and then register as an associate. And when you do that, it comes straight through to here.
It
This
costs
page comes
nothing.
up, it says congratulations. Click here to go to your back.
It costs nothing. The only money that you spend is the money to get the new car map. That's it. This costs nothing, but it makes money.
Back office. So when you go to your back office, this is what's going to come up. And then what you need to do is to get your link to share with other people. Well, you click on this bit here that's highlighted in the red. And what happens when you click there? It's going to go to here, and they've got different ways that you can send it. If you're in, Social X, which we will be, but we're going to use this one here. So you're just going to copy that link, have your username in there. You'll see that as soon as you log in, and that's what you're going to put in your.
People, I just remembered I remembered you. I forgot to show you some stuff. Right. So this is your back office. This is the place an order. If you're anywhere where they actually do orders to your country, you can place an order. Manage your subscription. Manage your smart ship. These apps here. AI powered now site. Right. Hopefully it'll automatically log me in. No, it won't, so we'll go to this one. Where I am logged in. Same site. So on this one you have this thing here, right? And it will automatically generate something to say. You can upload video, you can upload pictures as well. And you can put them out to all of these, right? That's pretty cool. Then you have Writing Assistant, where you can write stuff and send it out to people. You have business profiles. So that's My Change Your Life app. These are other website type things. You've got My AI Chat, and you've got My Contacts, Add New Lead, My List. You've got a website which you can create if you wish to. You don't really need it, I've discovered. If you go here, you can create these websites for $30. For $30, you pay $30 for them, but you don't really need them, so they're a little bit pointless. Team stuff as well. On this, I don't have a team, so, but I've been through all of that, so yeah, that's cool. So there's that one. Then you have Contact Manager, you have Commission Manager, History, Genealogy, Reports. There's another one I'm missing here somewhere. You have a funnel too. I just can't see it. New site, oh, there's.
Hi everybody, David D'Arcangelo.
Email from Newcar says welcome to Newcar, blah blah blah, and set up your password. You click on that, and very simple. You just log into your back office, and when you first log in, everybody starts off.
Pray that you know.
No idea. I'm going to point a few things out here. We're going to take this slowly so you get an idea of it, because truly it was completely different to anything I'd done in the past. And I've been saying to a few people, I've got to unlearn some of the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. Stuart Finger is the CEO and the founder of SocialX. He's a great guy. I ended up having a conversation with him on the phone on, well, it was Monday morning my time, it was Sunday night his time, right? I reached out to one of my upline, Michael Swilling, and the next thing I know, he's got the owner on the on the call with us. But he's a very intelligent networker with a huge heart to help everybody that gets involved. He wanted to be able to help everybody. Now, I've already always known or believed that you couldn't help everybody because they've got to be able to help themselves. And if they're not prepared to help themselves, nothing you can do. Well, they've still got to do a little bit to help themselves, but not that much, to be honest with you. And what we're going to do now is just have a quick listen to Stuart here. And this is from the call that I did, part of the call that I did Monday morning my time. It was actually Sunday night, dinner time, their time. And they took time out for me.
I hope and pray that you know I'm not the kind of guy that sits in the office. I'm the CEO that sits in the office. I want to be out in the field. I mean, that's why I choose to get paid from the comp plan, right? For two reasons. One, if I can't make it in the comp plan, how can I expect you to? And then two, I'm on the same side of the fence as you. So if I want a pay raise, you get one, right? Because I got to raise the comp plan. I mean, it's really exciting the way all this is playing out.
I can't tell you how excited I was when he told me that this guy does not get paid from the company. I mean, I was an Amway, right? I've been out there on Richard J's Enterprise 5, right, in the Mediterranean, did a cruise on that. But, you know, I remember being told by some of the upline diamonds that we only ever get the crumbs that fall off their table, but they're nice crumbs. Whereas this guy, he's not doing that, right? His sole income source is from the comp plan. And you can see that as we're going to go through some of this, I think you'll see where it's different here. This is totally different to any other company I've been in. Sure, we've had other companies where people have been in networks, but then they jump the fence and they become corporate. Totally different. But just have a listen to this, right? This is how it all starts, right? Now, SocialX was founded way back in 2015, so it's an established company. And the other gentleman that I was talking to who's in our upline, he was sharing with me that he'd made over $6 million in the last 10 years that he's been involved. And that's pretty handy because they only had a handful of health and nutritional products. And I mean a handful, that's all. And, you know, that helped me to understand that this comp plan definitely works. The fact that he could make that much money, that's huge.
On the very first way we pay out, it's very simple. It's 50% of all of the commission volume the order generates. So when somebody gets it and buys, about 50% is commissionable. And then if you're the one that makes the sale, you get 50% of that. Okay, so it's really that simple. And most people are either buying Newcom monthly for $42.49. So $21.25 of that is commissionable. Okay, and this qualifies you for all your pay for a month. And then of course you can buy it annually, brings it all the way down to like $38.25 a month. But here's the cool part. The month,
you just got to click there where I've got it highlighted in red. And when you click on that, it'll open up this page. And all that you've got to do is tick the two boxes that you've read the terms and conditions, and you've read and agree to the policies and procedures, and then register as an associate. And when you do that, it comes straight through to here. This page comes up and says, congratulations. Click here to go to your back office. So when you go to your back office, this is what's going to come up. And then what you need to do is to get your link to share with other people. Well, you click on this bit here that's highlighted in the red. And what happens when you click there? It's going to go to here. And they've got different ways that you can send it if you're in, you know, SocialX, which we will be, but we're going to use this one here. So you're just going to copy that link, have your username in there. You'll see that as soon as you log in. And that's what you're going to put in your link that you're going to send to them. The Newcom and Social X income opportunity is unbelievable. I promise you, this is so different to anything I've ever seen in the last 40 years. I had no idea. I'm going to point a few things out here, and we're going to take this slowly so you get an idea of it, because truly it was completely different to anything I'd done in the past. And I've been saying to a few people, I've got to unlearn some of the stuff I've been doing for the last 40 years. Stuart Finger is the CEO and the founder of Social X. He's a great guy. I ended up having a conversation with him on the phone on, well, it was Monday morning here. And they've got different ways that you can send it if you're in, Social X, which we will be, but we're going to use this one here. So you're just going to copy that link. We've been hoping for the last 40 years. Stuart Finger is
right? For two reasons. One,
I had no idea. Get paid from the company.
Is commissionable, okay? And this qualifies you for all your pay for a month. And then, of course, you can buy it annually. Brings it all the way down to like $38.25 a month. But here's the cool part. The monthly saves you 15%. The annual saves you 23%. But we let it qualify you for the whole entire year. So if you buy this for a whole year, you don't have to buy anything else unless you want to. But what it's supposed to be about is residual income, money that comes in month after month, year after year. So here's the second way we pay out on all reorders, whether it's Newcom or other products, whatever it is, on all reorders, whether it's monthly or annually. If you have just one member that's direct to you, one customer/associate, you'll make 5%. If you have three, you'll make 20%. It goes to 4 times. So most people are at least shooting for 3 for multiple reasons in our company. This is one of the reasons. And I believe if we can get the average person to really get 3, we can change this industry. Okay. So you'll see all the reasons why we're pushing people to at least just do a little and get 3. And how do they do it? By getting them to get Newcom with a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. Then if you get 7, it's 30%. 14 is 40. And then, of course, we got lots of people shooting for 21 because that's 50% on all reorders for life. Well, we wanted to have a way for people to even qualify easier. So for everyone that buys Newcom annually, so it does a couple of things. It saves them 23%. It qualifies them for a whole year where they don't have to buy another thing. And it moves them to this pay scale on the right instead of the one on the left that I just showed you. Now it's this simple, guys. Double the pay for one customer, 10%. Jumps all the way to 25% if you have 3. And 3 is a sweet spot. It's a magic point. We literally put a bonus on just bringing in 3 customers. Does not matter whether they spend $42.49 or the $458. When you bring in 3, it could just be 3 monthlies. You're going to get a $50 bonus. That happens when you get 3 on either side. Doesn't matter whether you're on the monthly or the annual, you get that bonus. You're manager 3. The next step is manager 7. To get 7, now it pays you just like you got 21. So the difference between buying Newcom annually is you're on this scale. You never have to go to 21 to get the 50%. You can go to 7, plus there's a bonus. When you become a manager 7, whichever scale you're on, whichever side, you get a $200 bonus. Depending on whether they buy the monthly or the annual, the minimum you'll make if everybody does the monthly is $325. The max, if everybody buys the annual, is $950. It's usually about $500 because there's an average in there.
He's dead right. That's exactly what happened for me. I mean, for the first week, I didn't do anything, or the first 6 days, because I just wanted to test it out and see if I could work better. And I did. I ended up coming up with a little video, and I believe it's one of the best things I've ever done. But that was finished on the Friday, and then I started sharing this with people on the Saturday, because I'd proven to myself that it had helped me. And anyway, in about a 24-hour period, I ended up putting in 10 people, and that was pretty exciting. And so I'd already started seeing bonuses coming through like he's talking here, and didn't understand the comp plan. Then I realised, well, gee, Trev, you better get out there and upgrade. And so I've done that, but I hadn't even looked at the comp plan, when I signed up. I just wanted to see if the product worked because I had a problem. But here I'm just trying to share with you what happens. So this is assuming that everybody, both you and the new people that are getting in, what we call personal directs, the people that you introduce, are all buying the $43 monthly, right? So if you buy that one, you end up getting about 25% of the cost of it back. So it's a little bit more than the $10, but if it just makes it easier, $10, right? So you introduce 3, and then what happens? That's $30 there for the $10 that you're getting back for each of them. And then what'll happen, you get a Manager 3 rank advancement bonus. So that's another $50. So I'm looking at this and thinking, man, I put $43 out and I got $80 back. And I'm thinking, well, one of the goals in network is to get money into your new people's hands when they first get in the business as soon as possible. And I'm thinking here, they haven't put much in the first place anyway, but they've nearly doubled it with just 3 people. And so then I'm thinking, okay, what happens next? I actually go through and do it all out one at a time to start with. But then sure, you end up, if you've got 7 in there, then what happens is you're going to have 7 lots of the 10, which is 70, but now you're qualified as a Manager 7 as well. Well, that's an extra $200. So you've got a total of $320 US for introducing 7. And I'm sitting there thinking, that is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that in any other network, ever. Not even close. I mean, if people get their money back, or maybe even double it, but not 7.5 times for introducing 7 people, give me a break. And then I started to think, okay, well, how much has actually been invested by the 7 directs? How much money has a team put in? Well, it's pretty simple to work out, really. I could do it in my head. There was 7 lots of 43, 301.
that completely changed once I started using this daily. When this is your only device, you're not always typing. Sometimes you're just holding it like a tablet, watching content on the couch, working on the go, or just traveling through airports, and that is where the thinness actually really matters. It makes the entire experience feel quite effortless. And when you do attach the Magic Keyboard, you get a full laptop setup without the bulk of one, because not only is this new iPad Pro a lot thinner and lighter, the new redesigned Magic Keyboard is also thinner and lighter. So let's talk about that Magic Keyboard right now. It is a huge part of why this whole thing works for me. The aluminum design, the larger glass trackpad, the nice backlit keys, it finally feels like a real laptop experience. But what makes it special is how you can instantly just detach it and it goes right back to being a tablet. And this flexibility is something you just don't get with a MacBook. All right, now let's talk about the display, because this is still one of the biggest reasons I love using this device. The tandem OLED display is incredible. You get deep, true blacks, vibrant colors, up to 1000 nits of brightness.
Well, it looks like Jim Carrey was trolling us this entire time. So he just posted this on Instagram. Look at that. If that ain't an indicator that he's been trolling us for weeks, fair play to him. But he posted this on his